Mark, great to have you with us. Massive pioneer for MMA in Asia, really. Big moment for you. How big of a roller coaster has it been for you that this is finally happening with all that's been going on for you, not just the last month or so, but the last year or so?
Oh yeah, no, this is wild, man. I mean, these are crazy times with COVID, and I was like I mentioned on my social media. I was given this opportunity. I was told to come to Vegas, and that if I made it over here from the Philippines, that there would be a high chance that I could get a UFC fight. So that's exactly what I did. Um, it was tricky getting here from the Philippines. I had to get tests. I missed my first flight because I didn't have some things. There were travel restrictions. Finally got here, and then on 10 days notice, I got the fight offer, and then I was checked in at the fighter hotel. And with 3 days before the fight, I found out that I had COVID, and the fight was off. Um, but the way I look at it, it's all part of the journey. It's the roller coaster ride that is MMA, and yeah, I'm just thankful to Ruby Sports and thankful to the UFC, of course, for giving me this quick turnaround and this opportunity in Abu Dhabi.
We've heard it affects everyone differently. Some people don't even have any symptoms. What was it like for you? Were you okay quite quickly? You seem great now. So how quickly were you
Yeah,
able to recover?
yeah. To be honest, like I wish I was asymptomatic. Well, I don't wish I had COVID, of course, but I wish that I didn't have the symptoms. And I did have. I went through basically all the symptoms. I was just really achy leading up to fight week. I had like the aches, that you get when you have the flu, like your lower body and everything, just feeling a little out of it. Um, but I thought that was just from cutting weight and just being depleted calorically and just being tired. So I didn't realize that it was the COVID, and it was just starting. And then after I tested positive, then all the other symptoms came. I quarantined myself at home for 10 days. UFC medical told me to do that, so I stayed at home for 10 days, and that's when I lost my sense of smell, taste, um, sinuses. I had crazy congestion and headaches. I had a bit of a fever, a low fever, and yeah, a little bit of a cough. And right now, everything is gone, thank God. But I do still have a little bit of chest congestion. So I think that's just lingering a little bit, and hopefully that disappears soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said that you've been in Vegas. Have you been training at the PI much? It's a pretty amazing facility and some real talent around there as well.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing. I'm trying to get out there maybe 3 times a week, and yeah, like you said, it's amazing. The world class facility. Um, Meal plans, thorn supplements. I tried cryotherapy for the very first time yesterday, which was awesome. Yeah, just really enjoying myself at the PI, and it's been great.
People have been wanting to see you in the UFC for years now, and there's always been that speculation of when it might happen. So, how do you feel about the way that it's happened? Are you someone who thinks everything happens for a reason? And in regards to the timing, do you feel like you're a wiser fighter now than maybe 5, 6 years ago when these rumors
Right.
first were flying around?
Well, yeah, it's funny. It's funny that it finally happened, and it's in the middle of COVID. In the middle of this pandemic. Um, but I think that it's all part of the adventure, and that makes it that much. When I'm older and I look back on it, I'll just be like, yeah, what a crazy wild ride it was. And I am one of those guys that thinks everything happens for a reason, and I do feel wiser and more mature as a fighter right now. And yeah, here I am. Let's do it.
I think maybe it came out as a bit of a surprise just because you had a long layoff, but ultimately you're kind of in form. If you look at your record, you're on a nice winning streak. So
Thank you.
I don't know. Do you find it surprising that it has come after you've had injuries? You've been out of the game for a little bit in terms of competition.
Yeah. Well, have I? Well, actually, well, I did. Well, I have been out of the game a little bit in terms of MMA. Well, I defended my URCC title last year against Shimizu, last April, and then I did have the Sea Games after, so I was active with the Sea Games and Combat Sambo, which is very similar to MMA. So, like you said, I always train, and I've been active with my training and just keeping my body ready and prepared.
What's the response been like back home? Because for me, Philippines is probably one of the most passionate parts of Asia for combat sports, and Sea Games support we know is massive, and for you to make it into the UFC, have you really felt that response from back home?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. That's this has been a wild ride from getting here from the Philippines and leaving my family behind. My wife is pregnant with our second kid, and getting COVID. It's been like this and everything, but I definitely feel that support. And when I'm online, all the messages and all the comments on my posts and just social media in general, I feel the love from back home. So I'm really grateful for that. And thank you to everyone back home for that support, man. So definitely makes this challenge, sweeter.
Do you think you have been prepared by any other instances in your career? Because if you ask maybe anyone from any other sport, MMA fighters are more used to surprises, shall we say, than maybe any other kind of athlete. Like, you're used to fighters pulling out last minute, you're used to getting injured, something happening with the weight cut. There's always something, right, that can go wrong. So do you think you're prepared for this in a way?
Yeah, I've always been one of those fighters that I never really let myself go too much in between fights. I always try to stay in good shape. Especially as I've gotten older, maybe earlier in my career, in my early 20s and stuff, I would kind of balloon up during fights and between fights. And, but when I guess getting married and having a family too, I was like, okay, it's, I gotta be more serious, and there is a timeline on a fighter's career, right? So definitely, I always keep myself these days, the last few years, I've always kept myself in good fighting shape and ready for anything, ready for whatever opportunity. Even throughout quarantine, I was training, not the best training, of course, because limited training partners. And there was a point when my wife was like my main training partner, and I was just trying techniques on her and stuff. And then we found out that she was pregnant with baby number 2. So I was like, okay, we have to stop training now because I can't do a takedown and hit you in the tummy or something. So, but what I'm saying is, I made do with what I had available and kept staying fit throughout quarantine. And then when I got this opportunity to come to Vegas and the potential for a UFC fight, I definitely jumped on it. And I knew that I wasn't that far off, that I was in pretty good shape and I could jump straight into a camp here in Vegas.
They're not gonna give you any kind of an easy challenge, right? Your previous opponent was a tough one, and Said Nurmagomedov is very tough indeed. How do you feel about that challenge, and how do you feel you match up with him?
Yeah, I think I match up with him well, and I mean, this is the UFC. There are no easy fights in the UFC, and ultimately this is what I came over to do, to test myself against the best. And I'm just really excited, man. And I guess I was destined to fight a Russian because it's 2 Russian fighters back to back. So let's do it. We got, I'm from Baguio. I'm from the mountains of the Philippines, and he's from Dagestan, from the mountains of Russia. So let's do it.
I just wondered if this is a one fight deal for you. Do you have to win to kind of make the next move to progress or whatever, or have you got more than one fight on your deal with the UFC?
No, we signed a 4-fight contract. So, we signed a 4-fight contract. Yeah, very happy about that and excited about that. But yeah, man, you're only as good as your last fight in this game. So definitely gonna bring the thunder to this next one.